everyone, welcome back to my channel. So tonight I figured I would do something a little different than what I usually do. Obviously I'm kind of just relaxing in my bed. I have my new Hocus Pocus blanket and I just kind of wanted to do a sit down. As you can see from the title of this video, it is not something that people probably talk about because I'm throwing in the towel. I'm done with everything. And when I say that, I mean I'm done with living by societal standards. As most of you guys know, I've been very open about the fact that I homeschool my son, and I try very hard to homeschool and to keep my other two very active and busy and just kind of learning and constantly moving and thriving, and while I'm trying to juggle my house and my husband and my social life and taking care of myself and trying to better myself and making sure that as a family and as a unit we look as society thinks that we should. And that is very overwhelming to me. I suffer from severe anxiety and I have suffered from depression in the past, and I know when to kind of notice things and when to realize that maybe I'm getting a little too overwhelmed. And I think that that's something that is not really talked about. Especially as a mom, I think that we are always so under the microscope that maybe we even just kind of put ourselves under, and ones that we compare ourselves to our friends or Pinterest or Instagram moms or bloggers or whatever it might be. So that anxiety and that overwhelming feeling can kind of just come into this huge bubble, and it just kind of takes over us. So I have just decided to go on this self-healing journey, and kind of just try to figure out who I am, what I do, what my purpose is, how to love the person that I'm becoming, and figure out the gifts that I've been given, and kind of things like that. And that's something that I wanted to share with you because I feel like that's not something that we really talk about today anymore. I feel like today we have to have the perfect farmhouse style house, and our kids have to be Pinterest worthy, and our lunches have to be Pinterest worthy, and our hair has to be Instagram worthy, and I just cannot anymore try to fit into that mold. So I decided that after what has been a very tough 9 months and really a very tough 8 years, that I'm just not going to do it anymore. And we are kind of coming into this, I think, a tail end of finding our spiritual journey and kind of where we're going. We've always been a family that is a believer. We grew up in a Baptist home, and we just have kind of been on this spiritual roller coaster, and God was kind of always used as a weapon, and that kind of caused me a lot of anxiety as well, because I never stood up to the standard that they had set for me against God. So I always felt like I was failing him. And in failing him, then I was failing my husband and my children and my church and all of these things. So I got mad and I got angry and I was done. And that kind of sent me into a tailspin of things. So jump forward to now, and in this past year, I have decided that I'm going to do something different, and I needed to figure out what that was. And it's been in the last 3 months that I have really stopped and said, okay, God, what is it that you want from me? What is it that I am doing wrong? And I think what it is that I'm trying to fit into the wrong mold, and I need to fit into his mold and not into my mold. And I know that some of you have probably already clicked off of this video. I know that some of you are probably like, this girl is crazy. But some of you guys understand that the struggle is real, and some of you guys can probably relate to this, and that is awesome. And that is why I want to share this with you, because if you can relate to this, then I'm here to help you. I'm here to love on you and come alongside of you, because so many people have come alongside of me to kind of help me along in this journey. So I've been into a serious self-discovery and just a lot of prayer and trying to figure out where I need to go. And I have come to realize how overwhelmed I actually am. And I am overwhelming myself. My situations can be overwhelming, but my lack of asking for help and my lack of allowing the help that has presented itself is keeping me in an overwhelmed state. I'm currently reading the book Girl Wash Your Face by Rachel Hollis. This is not a sponsored video, by the way, but this book has completely changed a lot of things, and I've done a lot of different devotionals, and there's a part in the book where she's like, just get in the freaking boat. Get in the boat that God is sending you. Get in the life raft that God is sending you. And it's finally time that I get into that life raft. And for anybody that knows me, I don't like to fail. I'm very competitive, and I'm very I'm a go-getter. I don't like to fail. I don't like people to be ashamed of me, and I don't like people to be embarrassed by the things that I do. I don't like to not do the things that people think that I should do. And that is something that I need to work on for myself. And it is that stigma of that I need to fit into this Instagram-worthy situation and Instagram-worthy life as being a mom and make my own food and grow my food and do all of this. But becoming overwhelmed, I cannot be the mom that I need to be for my children. So through a lot of prayer and a lot of talking with my husband and a lot of soul searching and a lot of things with my family and my friends, we have come to the decision as a family, as a husband and a wife, to enroll Joshua into traditional school and trust that God is going to kind of put a hedge of protection around him. That way I can take care of myself, because yes, homeschooling him is good, and yes, I can take care of his education and I can do this, but I can do that and I can take care of his education and I can be hands-on and all of that. So, but I can't be the mom that I need to be if I'm overwhelmed all of the time. And when I started this program, it was different than it turned out to be different than what I had thought it was going to be. Because now I'm teaching for 4 to 6 hours a day while trying to entertain my 4-year-old and my 1-year-old at the same time. And that is just not a place that I would like to be in. That is not fair to them, and really that's not fair to Joshua, and it's not fair to my husband either, because then other things get neglected around our house. So that is kind of where I'm at, and it's taken a little bit, and it's taken a lot of coming into myself and a lot of realizing that it's okay to let go of certain things, and it's okay to let go of control, to realize that I don't have to do everything. I don't have to do it all. I don't have to constantly be the one making all of the decisions and doing all of this. And really that's probably why these past few years have been so hard, because I have been fighting so hard against God and against the plans that he has, and that is not the purpose of life. It's not the purpose for me to fight against, but to just kind of go with the flow and just let things happen as they are to happen, because sometimes you just can't control certain things. But I came to the point where I know that if I let myself get too much more overwhelmed, my anxiety will be way too high. And when my anxiety gets high, that spins everything else in my life out of control. And I feel like as a mom, that's hard to admit, and I feel like that's something that we as moms do not talk about. We have the thing for the first year of our baby being alive, that's postpartum depression, and then And even that's a stigma for us to be able to talk about. But then immediately on your baby's first birthday, it immediately should just go away according to societal standards. But sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes we need that help, and sometimes we need somebody to be like, you know what? I did it. I am there too. Sometimes I lock myself in the closet and I cry, and I ignore my kids banging on the closet door. Sometimes I do. And we need to be able to be open about that, and we need to be able to be okay admitting that to each other, because I feel like if we can admit that to each other, then that is when healing will begin. So I don't mean to ramble, and I don't mean to kind of, I don't know, talk your ear off or whatever it may be. But I always have wanted to be 100% honest on this channel. I always wanted to make sure that you guys saw me as a friend, and you realize that I saw you guys as a friend, and that I do love you guys, and the whole purpose of my channel was to come alongside of you and to give you life tips and to let you know that somebody out there is also struggling. The struggle is real for all of us, and yes, I can edit and I can put music and make it sound like my life has a soundtrack, and I can put lighting in, and I can take the perfect Instagram picture, and I can do this and I can do that. But honestly, the struggle is there. And I know that a lot of YouTubers always say, I only show you 10% of my life, and it's the good parts of my life. But sometimes we need to see the bad parts. Sometimes you need to know that I scream at my kids. You need to know that I scream at my husband. You need to know that I look at myself sometimes in the mirror and I scoff in disgust because I just don't like what I see some days. And so yes, I am going to show you the part that is good. I do want to do that, and I do want to show you the parts that are helpful and that make my life easier. But I do want to show you that while you're sitting there on the couch and your kids are losing their minds and you are just ignoring them because you can't bear to get up one more time, and you can't bear to answer to mommy one more time, I'm you. I'm there. I understand that. I get not being able to handle one more word from them, not being able to handle one more load of laundry, or looking at the dishes piling up, or looking at the fact that your dry shampoo bottle is almost empty and thinking about having to go out into public and buying another one, because then you'd have to take your kids out again and you don't know how they're going to act in the store. I understand that. And I want to make sure that you know that somebody else gets that. So that is the purpose of me letting you know that I'm throwing in the towel and I'm kind of waving my white flag. And it does kind of break my heart in a way that I am going to stop homeschooling, and that I am kind of giving out and giving up that part of my life and something that I did really want. But I wanted to have a relationship with my children that much more, and I wanted my home to be a place where they can relax and where they can have peace, and I wanted my husband to be able to come home and be at peace, and I need myself to be at peace. And lightening the load that I set upon myself is how I'm going to be able to do that. So I know this was a little bit of a different video for you guys. I know that this isn't something that I normally do. This may not have been your style of video. If you have watched this in its entirety, thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate it. I really do love you, and I want to come alongside of you if you need it. You can always inbox me. You can always leave a comment or email. My email should be on my channel, or if you follow me on Instagram, you can always DM me on Instagram. And I will see you guys in the next one, and I hope you guys have a great night, and don't forget to let go. Also, don't forget to check out Girl Wash Your Face by Rachel Hollis. It seriously, guys, it will change your perspective. I'll see you in the next one, everybody. Bye.